Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a quick reminder before we get going to either turn your mobile phones off or switch them on to silent, please. Right, it's 5 o'clock, so we're just about ready here for the pre-event press conference for round 5 of the MotoGP World Championship here in Le Mans for the Shark Helmets Grand Prix of France. With us today, we have Marc Marquez riding for the Repsol Honda team, the championship leader after his second win of 2019 in Jerez last time out, and of course the Grand Prix winner here in France last year. Alex Rins riding for Team Suzuki X-Star, now second overall after his second place finish in Spain. Ducati's Andrea Dovizioso is here, now third overall in the standings after fourth in Jerez. Monster Energy Yamaha rider Maverick Vinales is also with us after his first podium of 2019. And of course, flying the flag for their home nation this weekend, Frenchman Johan Zarco, Red Bull KTM rider, and Petronas Yamaha SRT rider Quartararo also here with us. Before we get underway today, our MotoGP social media fan question may require a little thinking time. So Amy Dargan will ask it now, and then later we'll come back for your answers.
Hi guys, so our question comes from Selena on Twitter, and she's asked you, if you were an F1 driver, Formula 1 driver, who would you like to be your teammate? Now it can be a driver from the past or from the present, and what skill would you like to have of his, or yeah, his?
Okay, well, we'll come back to that one later on. But for now, we'll focus on this weekend ahead, and we'll start with Marc. Marc, a fantastic victory for you in Jerez, and we saw your passionate celebrations afterwards. It looked like that meant a lot. You sent a big message out to your rivals. Did that take the sting out of what happened in Austin? And what are your thoughts coming into France, of course, a race you won here last year?
Yes, of course, Jerez was important, but in the end was another race, another GP. Important thing is that we take the 25 points. This was the key, or the what we were looking for. So yeah, happy. And then also the Monday test, we were competitive, fast, consistent. We try a few things, always in a good way. So it was important. But now we arrive here in Le Mans, completely different track, more stop and go. So yeah, last year was a great weekend. So we started with a good mentality. We start optimistic, and then we will see during the weekend where we are, opponents, tires, weather conditions, and yeah, try to find a way to be fighting for the podium on Sunday.
After Le Mans, we moved to Mugello and Catalunya, and in the last couple of years, they've been Ducati circuits, if you like. They've gone very, very well. Does that put more emphasis on a good weekend for you here in Le Mans, or do you not really look at it like that at all?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, already last year, Dobby here was very, very fast, but in the end, he did a mistake in the race. But during the weekend, he was fast. Also, Yamaha riders were very fast 2 years ago, so you never know here in Le Mans. But then Mugello, Montmeló, I will say that more than Ducati circuits were Lorenzo's circuits, so he was very, very, very fast there. But anyway, now we are in Le Mans. We will try to concentrate. We will try to find a way to be fast. And yeah, this year we have a different kind of bike, so important to understand how it's working in a different circuit.
Thanks very much, Mark. Best of luck this weekend. We on now to Alex Rins. Alex, a fantastic few weeks for you in MotoGP, the win in Austin, a second in Jerez, but a very important test, as Mark was just saying, in Jerez. Did you find what you were looking for there?
Well, as you said, for sure, good initial part of the season with good results, this good victory in Austin, second position in Jerez. So after the race in Jerez, we try a lot of things. We try a different swing arm, the new spoon. Was very positive, the test. We find good things, not for this race, but for more in the middle of the season, no? To put on the middle of the season. So it was quite nice.
Is it difficult to find motivation to test the day after a long weekend, especially if you've been celebrating on the podium? From the outside in, it must seem quite strange for you to get the motivation to be able to push, to find out what you really want to get from the bike and testing.
Sincerely, before, yes. Maybe my first year on MotoGP, go to the test was a little bit bored, no? I think for me and for more riders. But you know, when you are there, when you are fighting for the top positions, when you are motivated, it's not a problem to ride the next day, no, after the race day.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Alex,
Thank
and
you.
the best of luck this weekend. We move on now to Andrea Dovizioso. Andrea, at 2 fourth places now consecutively for you. I'm sure you would have wanted a bit more than that. I'm sure you're keen to revisit the podium, but only 3 points down in the World Championship, so it could be worse.
Yes, for sure. The situation on championship is good and is completely open. Like I already explained in the past, this year we are more to fight for the championship. Yes, we are the beginning of the championship, so still everything can happen, but I expect to be more to fight for the championship, and I'm happy to be here. Le Mans, it was always a good track for me, a good weekend. Last year our speed was good, so I expect to be fast and a bit faster than Jerez. But you know, in this season the competitors are a bit different. The speed is different. I think, especially in the practice, there will be more riders on top, and it's very important to be there. And especially with the weather, Le Mans is always like this, and looks like the weather will be unstable. So everything can happen. We have to be ready. But overall, I'm happy to be here, and I think we can continue to fight and come back to the podium and fight for the victory.
Andrea, you're fast on 2 wheels. It looks like you're fast on 4 wheels now as well. Tell us about your recent experience.
Well, fast, I don't know. We will see. It was a good experience when they asked me to do that, and you know, during the season it's not easy to do that because it's a real race. It's not just an event, but that opportunity, I took that opportunity because it's a really nice championship, and I'm happy to do with Audi. I will do some tests. I mean, it will be a nice experience. Really hard because that is a real championship. There is a lot of fast drivers, but it's experience, and I will do that.
Thanks very much, Andrea. We now move on to Maverick Vinales, 3rd place in Jerez, a confidence-boosting podium, one that you needed, one that Yamaha needed, and then a very important test for Yamaha as well. How did it go for you?
Yes, honestly, for us it was really important to go into a weekend with taking out our potential, trying to do, especially the first laps, going well. So that was the most important, because for us, we pay a lot of, like many seconds in Qatar, in Argentina, and then in Austin. I get the drive-through, so we could not show our potential yet. So I think for sure in Jerez, the result for us was very important. We bring a lot of confidence inside the team, and that's what we needed. So we need to keep working. We need to try to understand the way to go. We improved quite a lot on the test, so I'm really pleased. Let's see here in Le Mans, a track I really like. We can give our best and be at least on the podium. I think the main objective is to be on the podium, fighting for the top places, and see if on the race we can be again fighting for be on the front row on Saturday. That I think on Jerez was very important, because the other two Yamahas were really fast on Saturday. So we need to work and to understand the way to go faster with that bike.
Would it be fair to say that here in Le Mans, the circuit seems to mask any of the disadvantages that Yamaha maybe have? And of course, some great memories must come flooding back for you here after your victory in 2017.
I don't really know to mask if the weakness point of the bike, but whatever, I feel always really good on that track. You know, I can give always a little bit more. So I can wait to start, to ride, and to enjoy the track.
Thanks very much to you, Maverick. We're now going to move on to Fabio Quartararo. Wow, the highs and lows of motorcycle racing really hit you over in Jerez. I'm sure you had a lovely day in Paris yesterday. Here is your home Grand Prix, but what a weekend it was for you. Pole position, and then the race. We saw you in floods of tears, but on the positive side, you were there. You must have learnt so much behind Mark as well.
Well, for sure, you know, Jerez has been really good for us. We didn't expect, first of all, to do the pole position. The race was really good. I think is really difficult to overtake on the MotoGP bike in this track, so was good to make the pole position. And on the race, the first lap, I really struggled to follow Franco and Marc, but at the end, you know, I found like 2/10 compared to the free practice, and I was really good, really comfortable on the bike. And yeah, happened what happened on the race, but it's really positive to see a lot of things of Marc during the race.
Here in France, such a huge weekend. It would be anyway for you as a Moto3, as a Moto2 rider. But I remember when Johan first came to MotoGP, it takes on a different meaning. How much attention have you received coming into this weekend?
Well, it's true that also what happened in Jerez is the fans are a little bit more crazy. But for sure we will need to be focused, don't lose energy, and of course enjoy the home GP.
Thanks very much, Fabio. We finally come to Johan Zarco. Johan, you're also fast on two wheels. You're good on the piano, and now it looks like you're good with cabaret as well. A day at the Moulin Rouge. Tell us about that yesterday.
Yeah, Tuesday evening, great evening in Moulin Rouge, and amazing show. Really nice girls for sure. And nice costume, decoration, everything was nice. Champagne was good, and this gave me some energy to try things on the backstage.
In terms of
correct things, I mean.
If we return to motorcycle racing for now, it's been a difficult start to 2019 for you, Johan, but we come here after a test. I'm sure you've tried out a lot of things, and I'm sure that you're also hoping that you can get some energy from the home fans as well.
The energy from the fans, even if I got pretty hard beginning of the season, I feel very positive energy from them here. They really support me and say, you can do it, and we trust in you, and that's giving warm energy. And after Jerez, we got 2 days of tests. Testing is interesting because you can keep working on the rider, and you have time to try a lot of things on the bike. And this job of test rider almost is kind of difficult because you can try 20 things, but it can be only one maybe working, and if you only have one thing working, you must be happy. That's what we did, and now I'm ready to go for tomorrow. As all the riders say, we must see the weather condition. I think, I cannot say I have the advantage, but I will have less disadvantage because I test here before. And before come to Jerez, I got 2 days of test here, so it will help me to be quicker in the correct pace and maybe closer from the top guys. And from that, I hope to build a good weekend and catch a good result for me and for all the team.
Thanks, Johan. Have a good weekend. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Floor questions, please.
question again for you, Johan. You just signed a partnership with Jean-Michel Bail in order for him to be your coach. What do you expect from him? What kind of help can he give you? Which is the working method that you're gonna apply?
So yeah, after Jerez has been the new working with Jean-Michel Bail, this ex-rider and everybody know pretty well. I contacted him already last year. We were speaking a little bit, but it was necessary to take the time for me to see what I need. I was always followed by very close from my ex-coach, so this technical support and also on the mental side to get free and don't think on the bike, just go. Now the last 5 months for all the things I have to go through was quite hard, and I anyway learned a lot. And now sharing this experience with Jean-Michel, I can see that we have things to work on myself that will anyway help to work with the team. So we're gonna see how we will work on the weekend, but the most important thing is to keep in mind what is the mission, what is the job to do, and when we are in the race, we can really do the best as possible, just as a rider, not as a technician rider or as a test rider, but as a race rider. And already on some training, we got good results. I can see that when I get this free mind, I'm immediately getting faster. So I want to have this free mind also on the race weekend, even when I have the difficult time with the bike. So that's the target with Jean-Michel, to bring some more freedom in the brain to get just pure performance from me, even if it's not for winning yet.
Mark, after a Jerez test, you said that you're happy that you solved the problems with the engine brake. Do you think that a track like this, which is more stop and go, can bring up again this problem? And if it's not dry, is it possible to see what's going on with the engine brake in the wet?
Yeah, of course. What I say is that we resolved the problems in Jerez, and I was riding like I won, and in the way that I feel, and this was very, very important. But here again, we have some first gear corners. Again, we have lower PM corners, so it's time to understand. But yeah, already the technicians say that it's fixed or should be fixed. So, but yeah, since I will not ride tomorrow, I don't know.
If it is,
yes?
if it is wet, is it possible to test it, or the wet is changing? Or
No. The problem was there. I mean, it's not anymore. I hope that it's not anymore. In Jerez, it was not there. So yeah. But even if it's wet, we can test.
And a question for Fabio. Fabio, there are rumors that a lot of girls from Moulin Rouge will come with your T-shirts here. You invited them?
No, of course not. Not for the race weekend.
I have a question for Dobby. Dobby down here. After Jerez, you said that you needed something more to be really at the level of competitive. Okay. Regarding these quotes, I would like to ask you two questions. One, not having a fully competitive bike, are you racing more in defense than attacking? And the second, if it's so, do you think that Suzuki and Honda have worked better this winter than Ducati?
If they work better or worse is very difficult to know, and this is not the point. I think the level now are very close of the bikes, and I think all four bikes, Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda and Ducati, are different. The characteristics are different. Also the riding style of the top rider are different. So every time the story is a bit different, and we are not happy 100% because still the limit in the middle of the corner is there, but like I always explain, we have at the moment a positive things in some other part, so we know very well that, and in some track we are good and we are able to use. In some track the limit is a bit bigger and it's difficult. Sometimes in the practice we are able to be with the same pace as the competitor, but when you go on the race is a bit more difficult sometimes. So that what happened in Jerez, and in the practice was good. You always think in a positive way, so we wanted a bit more, but what happened in the race, I think it was the reality. And if you analyze this in a relaxed way, in a rational way, I think what happened in the race is quite normal, and is the reason why in some other track we are stronger than the competitor. So I don't know if it will be enough what we did during the winter, but we are there. I mean, we are not far on the championship. We are there. We already won a race. We did a good race in Argentina. So we are on the limit, but I think like the competitor. So I'm not too worried. I'm just on the limit like every riders close to me.
Johan, in the last few days there has been some criticizing of you from Stefan Pierer. Did you speak to him? Were you surprised how kind of harsh he was also with his words?
The comments about Stefan Pierer, I could saw that comments only when I was flying back to Jerez, so many days after almost he told it. And I could not speak straight to him, but I had anyway good speaking with Pete Bearer, and I understood why he say all of that. It's also, I was a bit on fire on Friday after the crash, and I didn't say nice thing from the bike that I must develop, and I must accept the performance at the moment. I kind of lose some control in that moment. So when the media came to him and tried to pick him with that, because this is his money that we put in that project, so he could only answer in that way, because you also know how is Stefan, and he has a strong character. So that's why you pick him, he answer you, and it's, I mean, maybe I cannot say a good game, but it's part of the challenge. We know we have to be patient and improve that project, but and we know that it's gonna take time. But sometimes in the moment we can lose a little bit of control. So didn't give me I mean pain, or didn't be sad after this comment, because I understood, and now it's going much better, and I really hope and cross fingers that this weekend will be a good answer from all what we could read on the media last week.
A question for Mark up here. The weather is going to be a little bit difficult here, and normally we've seen your practice strategy has been not to think about qualifying in FP1, FP2, just work on used tyres and work on race setup. Do you have to change that approach, because if you could quite easily miss out on Q2 if it rains on Saturday, or even if the weather is not so good on Friday afternoon?
Well, it's true that we need to evaluate everything, but first of all we start with the same strategy like always, and then during the weekend we will see how is our performance with the race tire, we will see how is our lap time with the race tire, and then we will check also the forecast, but of course like you say, if the forecast is a little bit unpredictable, then it's important to maybe readjust your plan and put a new tire in the end of the practice, but will not change a lot our strategy for the race weekend.
A question for Maverick. Maverick, you said that the test in Jerez was quite good. Can you tell us a little bit what you improved most after the race during the test?
Well, actually, the idea was to improve a little bit all the areas because we need a little bit more on braking, on acceleration, on speed corner. So the main idea was to improve a little bit everything, you know, also the riding style with the bike. So that was positive, and for me it was good, you know, to get even more confidence to came into Le Mans with a lot of motivation. So the main improvement was just a little in all the situations.
Question for Mark. Mark, Carl has said that the new Honda, this year's Honda, is different from the last year, that he's not very happy with the way the bike feels. Can you explain the difference between 2018 and 19, and how did you adapt to the new bike that quick?
But yeah, all Honda riders have a little bit different feeling and yeah, sometimes different directions. But now one of the most important things for us is that all the three, me, Cal, and Jorge, we are going on the same direction with more or less the same setup. So this is positive for Honda because it's easier to understand the way to improve. But it's true that with the new bike, I mean, it's like always. When you get more torque and more power, the bike is turning less, and it's getting more difficult to ride. And this is something that, for example, people say, yeah, Suzuki is turning very good, but then they have less torque on the straight, and it's like a kind of try to find the correct balance. But it's true that with the new bike we have more torque. It's more difficult in other areas, but at the moment we are able to manage in a good way. And then the chassis, yeah, we changed a little bit. All the reason was to get more torque, and yes, slightly different. But when I did many comparisons in many different circuits, and always I felt better on these new chassis.
Okay, that's it from floor questions. Over to Amy.
Okay, so just to remind you guys of the social media question that came from Selena on Twitter. The question is, if you were an F1 driver, who would you like to be your teammate, past or present? And which skill of his would you most like to have? So we will start with Mark.
So I will choose Fernando Alonso because same language, same country. I mean, a lot of experience, and I will like to take from him that first laps that he was so aggressive. He was, he overtake another cars in a different way. So yeah, he was very impressive on that area.
Thanks, Mark. Alex.
I would like to have on my side Hamilton. Looks like a good guy. He's very fast on the car, on the races, and also on the practices. Yeah.
Nice. Maverick.
I will choose Schumacher.
Oh, cool.
Honestly, because for me he's one of the best, one legend, and I think he was so cold, and that's really good for sport, for when you have the pressure, and that's really good.
Thanks, Maverick. Andrea.
Yes, for me the same. I mean, there was a lot of special drivers, but I took Michael because I hear a lot of nice story, and in the moment, the years where he won with the Ferrari, he put a lot of effort about training and he was a real engineer on the car. He did a lot of things on the car than the other drivers didn't, and this is something, I mean, when you're doing something different and every drivers follow you, I mean, it's mean you are special.
You're doing it right. Thank you. Fabio.
Well, I will choose also Hamilton. At the moment, he's also with Petronas. So, yes, we meet him in Qatar. He's a good guy, and he like also motorcycles. So, I will choose him.
Joanne.
As a Red Bull athlete, I would say Pierre Gasly can be a good teammate. But about skills, I'm thinking about Alain Prost, the ex-driver. That from him, for sure, I could learn how to be a professor to develop a project, and this can be interesting.
Really interesting answers. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, that concludes the press conference, guys. If we could ask you to stand for the photo, please. Everyone behind me, remain seated for now. Thank you.
Please be seated.
Thank you.
Mixed a lot.